And we're live. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Lego Hangout with myself, the Brick Adjuster, and we have. How do I make these big? And we have Mel from Iceberg Bricks. We got Kevin from imboredtoys, and we have Claire from the Plastic Architect.
Mm-hmm.
And so Claire is new to the panel this week, and maybe Claire, you can introduce yourself to the audience.
Sure. Yeah. I'm pretty new to the Lego YouTube community, but I've been here for a few months, and yeah, I'm loving it.
Nice. How was your week in terms of Lego? Anything interesting?
I ended up getting the Spring Lantern Festival and the other Chinese New Year set. They just came back on back order today, so I just ordered those. So I'm really excited about that.
Nice.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And how about yourself, Mel? How was your week in terms of Lego?
Week's been pretty good. I just actually started my my youth camp. Well, class, I should say, is the Junior Lego Masters Building Experience. Kids, I had about 12 kids in there, and it was fun. It was fun. Bill Holly Watchman hooked up the build for this week. It was awesome.
Nice. What was the build this week?
It was a leprechaun for because St. Patty's Day's tomorrow.
Okay.
So it was a cool. Matter of fact, here it is right here.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Awesome. So everyone made that build.
Yep. Every kid made this build, and that was out of that medium brick box.
Yeah.
And right there, just like that, Holly made.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. And how about yourself, Kevin? Any?
I mean, I had a busy week at work, and so I didn't get too much done. But I was just building. I was doing a lot of like little research on just like finding little mocks that other people have done. Like today, I built a little vending machine, and just small modifications of things other people have been doing, just little atmosphere things.
Is this for
Pardon me?
Is this for the amusement park?
Yeah, really everything I do is kind of centered around that. And so I just have that at the entrance right now. And just kind of messing with things, cleaning stuff up. I did a little dusting this week when I was bored, stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
And myself, stores actually opened up here this past week in Toronto GTA area. So I was finally able to go to the Lego store for the first time since before COVID. And I got that set that I was eyeing. I had that major FOMO from watching Kevin's stream and the Warrior. What was it called?
It's called the Monkey King Warrior Mech or something.
That one, the Monkey King Warrior Mech.
Yes.
So I bought that and then built it, and now it's in my Ninjago City, kind of guarding the Ninjago City. So.
And you prepped a full stop motion for that too?
Yep. Actually, it's coming out on Thursday.
That's awesome.
Wow, you're busy.
So yeah, since I've been back in the game, I've been rejuvenized with the Lego, just building mocks and sets and everything. So it's a new thing for me again. So we got one person in the chat right. Well, Justin's in the chat. I saw.
Yeah.
Hello to Justin. But so today's topic will be Lego YouTube. So that's today's theme. And I have my first question I'm going to throw out to the panel is, what was your first Lego YouTube? What were the first Lego YouTube channels that you first started watching, and why did you start watching them? And we'll throw that to Mel first.
So I guess just mine is probably like with anybody else. Like as soon as you put Lego into YouTube, Jank Bricks comes up. You get Jank Bricks. You get Brixie, he comes up. So Alex Nunez came up. So I that was my top three right there.
And what year was this around?
This was 2017.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still new. So it was 2017.
Oh, that's 4 years ago.
Yeah. And those guys came up, and then of course I ended up catching up with Bricksmith from the Pink Bucket Nation, all the local people and stuff like that. And that's kind of started my YouTube stuff.
Did you watch them for a particular type of video that you were kind of watching them for, or?
Yeah, actually, I love the set reviews and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like that James Briggs did, or even like the city, like Alex Nunez's city, and I saw that. I'm like, man, I want to have a city here at home, and it's a very great inspiration, especially with the YouTube channel and stuff like that. And so that kind of made me want to, build mocks and then kind of showcase it on my channel.
Nice. How about yourself, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, definitely Jang would have come up first. And I remember kind of the first stuff I was into was Harry Potter, a lot of that stuff. And so like right away, almost I bought the big castle, and watching Jang's review of that, that's like, 45 minutes long and every single detail in really good
like the
quality.
UCS one.
And Jang's voice convincing me that I should spend that money on Lego, right? Kind of brought me over into kind of being comfortable with spending that much on Lego. And then I very quickly actually found Holly from Potter Minifig Pals, because this was not too long ago that I was getting into it. She still had very, very few subscribers then, but of course, since I was doing the Harry Potter stuff, she came up right away. So I've been following her for quite a while. And otherwise, I didn't really kind of dive in until late last year, middle of last year, maybe, and just find, the same types of people. And then especially Emmasaurus, I got to know pretty quick. So those are the main ones for me.
Nice. How about you, Claire?
So yeah, same. It wasn't too long ago. I think it was like November that I started, looking, like wanting to reach out and connect with like other AFOLs. And I was really interested in finding other like adult females that were also into the hobby. So I actually found Brick Queen pretty quickly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then interestingly enough, from some of like the drama videos, I was actually guided towards M&R. And then from that to like Sans's channel, and then Potter Minifig Pals because of the Harry Potter stuff. I also am super into Harry Potter. And then from Holly, there was also Tommy C. Bricks, he did like a Harry Potter mock train that did really, really well. And then from that, I connected to Cece. So Cafe. So that was kind of like my foray to finding some other female creators.
The train. For myself, I guess I started watching YouTube channels when I first started collecting Lego around 2012. And so the channels I was watching basically were The Brick Show. I was watching Just Too Good, Your Bricks, Brick Queen, Your Creative Friends. Those channels mostly for the reviews, because I was collecting. I wanted to know like what sets were good to get. And so I'd see the Brick Shows, all these other Star Wars reviews, and then that gave me ideas which Star Wars sets to get. And then Your Creative Friends as well. I watched a lot of their reviews. And then I started watching Bricksar and Bricks on the Dollar. They were doing a lot of Q&A videos. So Bricksar had his Bricksar answer thingy. And I remember like I would ask a question. I get so excited when he actually like said my name in one of his videos, and like fanboying. And then I would watch haul videos from I don't know if you know these channels, but Mardi Gras Man 2-3 and Brick Stackers. They were doing like a lot of hauls, a lot of shopping videos where they'd go out and go to Walmart and try to find like these deals. And after watching like those channels, that's kind of gave me like the inspiration to try making videos of my own. So review videos like how the Brick Show and Your Creative Friends do it, and then the Q&A videos I would do similar to Bricksar, and so that's kind of how I got into it. Next question, or anything else you guys want to add to that first question, or any follow-up?
Yeah, I just like how like you said, like some of the names that you mentioned, like Bricksar and all of them, they've been around for a while and they still have that lasting impact today,
Yeah, they're still plugging away, and like their videos look a little bit different. If you go back to their previous video, I'm sure all our videos look different from like our first few videos. Like their style is a little different, but the same personality is there. So That's cool. My next question is, how has the Lego YouTube channel, since you've been watching, changed? I know, like, if you, Kevin and Claire have kind of new, but it might have changed since you guys started too. I'm not sure. We'll throw this out to Mel first.
So I when I first started, all you needed to have to be monetized was 1,000 subscribers and maybe 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers and 1,000 views or something like that, right? And then once I hit that benchmark, that was the week that they changed everything.
When was that?
It was like in purgatory for a month, and then they just changed everything, like everything, because that one kid that they make toys after now, you know, from Walmart, because he was doing all his Walmart views, his parents were making a killing off of YouTube.
Yeah, what's that guy's name again?
I think it's like, was it
Ryan's Toy Review.
Yeah, Ryan's Toy Review. He broke YouTube. That's the guy.
So they changed the rules because of him? I didn't
realize that.
I mean, they had the COPA laws back in 1999, and they just never enacted them until Ryan Reviews actually happened. And it got to a point where they were really making serious money. So at this point, you're talking about real revenue. And at that point, if you regulate it, it becomes taxable as well, right? And so that's when everything starts to change, you know, about how you you know, make your videos, you know, to lure kids on it, or if you have kids in your videos, this is what you do and stuff like that. So now, you know, if you look at, you know, Ryan's Toy Review, his parents are running the helm, and you see his parents now because they have to be in there. He can't be in there by himself no more now.
Yeah.
You don't think that was like all like a CYA thing for YouTube, just to kind of like, because
CYA?
Cover your
your assets.
Cover your assets.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Yes, and you're right.
I'm not hip with the lingo.
Right. That is, it's like you go ahead and follow the rules, so it's somebody else takes the blame for it, especially when you get the government. Because, like I said, it was 1999. How long YouTube been around?
I think since
2005.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so you had something.
Really?
You had a rule that was made before YouTube got onto the scene, but they just never had a platform like YouTube back in 1999 until 2000. So, but it changed, and so and here's the thing: it's like when I first got on, I did. You can see some of my first videos. I did try to do the review thing, but it was like everybody who was in the Lego game opened off to reviews, and some of the channels like was just like M&R Productions, probably one of the top review channels ever. I'll go watch M&R's review because I like M&R because he's going to tell you the real of it. Whether it was given,
he doesn't sugarcoat it.
Yeah, he'll tell you exactly his real thoughts on that set. And so I'll watch his reviews religiously. I do. And so I had to take a step back from that and evaluate my channel, because it was like, all right, I don't want to be a review channel because then I'm going up, against the elite, because I watch those. I find myself watching them. I wouldn't watch my reviews because I'm not of that caliber. So at that point, you're trying to look at your channel and it's like, what is my niche in this channel? And I didn't mean to like go over, but I'm sure you still got more on the other panel. So
no. How about you, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like me, is the question about how it's changed like as a viewer or as someone making stuff? How
has Lego YouTube changed in general, like the environment, as viewers, communities, anything?
Yeah, I mean, for me, a lot of my time now, I think, is just I watch a lot of live streaming. I don't know to what extent that's brand new in the Lego YouTube world, but for me, I wasn't doing that a lot before, and now I do.
When did you first start watching Lego YouTube?
Maybe like more actively about a year ago, probably.
It's like 2020.
Yeah, and
the
then
COVID area.
Yeah, exactly. And once I started spending, a lot more money and a lot more time, with Lego. Before that, it was mostly reviews that I would watch if I was about to try to decide about a set or whatever, or a little bit of mock stuff maybe, but not too much because I liked playing around with it on my own at the time and kind of understanding the pieces before I saw what other people were doing with them. Because anytime I dive into a hobby, I kind of really like to get my basics down on my own and understand it my own way first. And now I'm happy to watch anyone doing anything. Either I'll use that or I won't. But anyways,
I'll just jump on Kevin's point about the live streams, because I started watching Lego YouTube around 2012. I know the channels have been up, like they've been channels before that. But just from my experience, around 2012, it was basically all reviews and different kinds of, like, live streaming wasn't really a thing yet.
Right.
Around 2013 was when I first saw a live stream. I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And it was Your Creative Friends, YCF. It was Chad and his daughter and his son, and they were doing a live stream. It was short. It was like 40 minutes or so. And they were interacting with the chat, and it was like a whole new concept. Right? Like, I've never seen this before. And it was new to them too. They were trying to figure it all out. And then they would start having like bricks on the dollar in, and then they would just kind of do their whole spiel. And then around 2014, do you guys know Big B Bricks? Have you heard of Big B Bricks? He's another YouTuber that kind of started around that time. He started a weekly stream every Saturday night. And the thing about this weekly stream, it went for like maybe 3 hours or so, but it would rotate across maybe 15 to 20 different YouTube channels. Each person would alternate hosting this stream. And it was like a fun time. Like, we'd play games. There was even like one YouTuber would have like this Jeopardy type competition going on, and then it would be one-on-one. It would be like, I remember I was up against Brickstar on one, and he beat me, and so he went on to the next round. And so like it was like all this, and then some streams the host would like have like a mock kind of competition similar to how Iceberg does with Agents of Mock and Jesse.
Yep.
And so it was like a weekly thing. It's still kind of going on now, but when I checked it out when I first came back, but it's totally different. Like it's run by Hoosier and Haley, but they don't really do the same kind of things that we were doing. It's more just kind of just chilling and chatting. But yeah, that's kind of what I was experiencing. And then back in around 2014, other kind of shows popped up. There was like Holland and Ballin, which is kind of still going on now with Fick and Bricks and Brick Revolution. And then I started a stream with my wife around 2015, like the Full of Brick. We rebooted it. Now, so we're doing it again, but we did that for a straight maybe 2 or 3 years every morning.
I wake up on Saturdays. It's like 7 a.m. and you're already going strong. It's
like high energy, right?
Right.
That's the only time we could do it. So we just do it.
It's awesome. I just wake up and check YouTube, and she's
like my Brenda with you.
Oh my gosh,
high energy, where I'm kind of more mellow.
Yeah.
But that's what I noticed. But before I want to continue, but I want to throw it to Claire for her 2 cents on this.
I mean, can I ironically add one more thing then? Is that even in the last 6 months, the visibility of women in the YouTube world, I think, and kind of them doing a lot of women's streams and things like that, and a lot of them are really picking up a lot more subscriptions and producing a lot of more great content. So, if I may just cut you off, Claire, and mention that, and then throw it to you.
Wait, can I jump in one more time?
So go ahead now. I did want to add that.
Let me jump in one more time too. There was actually a group called the Brick Chicks, and they had their own I don't know if Mel remembers this, the
I
Brick
remember
Chicks.
them. Yeah.
So they had their own YouTube channel and weekly streams too. And I think it was maybe 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, it's about
Is that about right?
Yeah.
They're probably still on YouTube if you guys Google
They are. They are.
the Brick Chicks.
Yeah.
So I know that group was there too. So
Mhm.
sorry, go ahead, Claire.
No, I think so I think there's definitely more visibility. I don't think it's like there were always women, I think, in the community.
Yeah.
But they weren't like, I think they were, the kind of content that was being created was more of like the live stream kind of like community based, which is super valuable and really interesting. I actually would love to, connect with a lot of the OG ladies that were here, and just for conversation's sake. But I think now it seems like from my perspective that there's more of like the cliche YouTube content creation, like not highly, but like relatively produced videos and reviews and conversations and stuff in addition to live streaming.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I mean, I really like it. So like for me, it's obviously all really new. And I did have a YouTube channel. I started, I think it was like 2009. I had a YouTube channel that was like cosmetics and skincare and stuff like that, because that's also like a passion of mine. And the community was like very, very different. It wasn't as like, let's connect and talk to other people who like love the same thing. Like I made a couple friends from there that I actually still talk to today. And one like moved to the area that I live in, and we spend time together. But it wasn't, I wouldn't call it a community. People call it the beauty community, but I never would. And so this is just, I think there's something special and precious here. You know what I mean? And hopefully that doesn't go away as like it gets. I think Lego, unlike cosmetics, there's really like a glass ceiling, or maybe like a pretty serious ceiling on it. Like not everybody and their mom is going to start, spending an arm and a leg and space, real estate on the hobby. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll kind of stay the same, but also grow at a good pace.
What I have noticed is there are communities, but there are pockets of communities, and some of these pockets, some might know of the other pockets, but some don't, which is so because like the pocket that I first knew was like that Saturday night stream, but some of them don't interact with like some of the members that used to be in that stream. So like there's another kind of group called the Pink Bucket Nation. I don't know if you guys know about Kevin or Claire. Have you heard of the Pink Bucket?
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard.
Yeah, so they don't really. I find that they're not really interacting with the Saturday night stream group anymore, which is interesting. And then other kind of communities I've kind of found just recently, like the Cy O'Connor and London Bridge. Like, oh, this is a cool kind of community, but it's not the same community as, well, it might be, of like Shy, yourself, Amasaurus, Cece. I find like that's another kind of pocket. I could be wrong because I'm only like 3 months in, but I'm trying to figure out where everything kind of fits,
Yeah. No, we definitely like all still talk to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, those two feel similar, just a slightly different time zone. And
I think it's it's more of a time zone issue. Exactly.
And I think what's happening is that I guess Brick Adjuster, you're the OG in this panel here. Like you like when you were around when they had the Asian Pacific channel. Like
have you guys heard of the Asian Pacific streams or
no,
like Down Under Bricks? Have you heard of Down Under Bricks?
Down Under Bricks, isn't Down Under Bricks still around?
He is, but he doesn't post as much.
Yeah, but he doesn't do live streams, but he does. He's been putting his videos up in like his room, and he does like these huge big bills.
Yeah.
Every week it was a live stream with Down Under Bricks, Aussie Bricks, Adam Spong, Go for Bob, and those guys were like, those guys were they've had me on their show a few times too, and it was just.
And see what happens with that era has phased out now, and now you have what's a younger audience like Claire there, and CC. You have a younger audience that's representing the forefront of Lego communities, which is great because. For years, I mean, and I'll be real, Claire. I'm probably going to be the realest Lego person you ever meet.
The realest,
on a panel, like so, because I really don't have any cut cards. I say things that I probably shouldn't say. And that's probably
it's good. It's good.
That's probably why I don't have that many friends. But
so keep it real.
the yesteryear that we're talking about was like the communities were predominantly white men. They were.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you know, I'm gonna say it was, because that was the A4 Lego. That was the Lego A4 then.
Mm-hmm.
And now that Lego has been going into multiple homes and all over across the globe, and then you got the thing called Lego Masters, and they're putting Lego into schools where you got STEM and stuff like that. So now you have like, and honestly, Claire, you know, I grew up in the inner city. I would get beat down from my house all the way to the school and back if I had Lego in my hand.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It just wasn't that accepted in my culture. You know, it just wasn't. You either had a wicked jump shot or you could run a football back, you know, in my culture. But doing something smart, or, you know, technology with Lego, that just wasn't a cool thing to do. And so now you see that you have people of color, women are taking the forefront of what's the new AFOL is. And so now, you know, that yesteryear is starting to die off a bit, you know, but you know, they're pioneers. I don't want to say die off, but they're pioneers, right? They were pioneers of the Lego channel.
Yeah,
I think
the first ones.
But I think it's beautiful because you've seen the change, and that's the effect. Like, that's how you know you succeed. When, Claire, if you ever have children and your children grow all old to be lawyers or doctors and carry your name on, that's your legacy, right? You know, and I think that this is that AFOL's legacy, by seeing different people, you know, take to this hobby.
Yeah, no, I mean, I totally get that. It makes sense. I think it's also like a bit more, it's a bit more socially acceptable, and people, I think, with COVID have also kind of come out of, you know, from, you know, behind the curtain or whatever with their hobbies, especially because they had to like find ways to entertain themselves in addition to it. And also, you know, with things that are going on socially and politically, you know, trends are leaning away from the kind of standard, you know, white box that we've been living in. And so I think things are, you know, people not fitting into that are encouraged to kind of grow and succeed. And then the reality is, it's like, I think some people could be upset that there's a change and shift, but with something like YouTube, it's all based on desire and want and need. And so like, if someone posts content and it does well, and it's doing well because the viewers want it to do well, it has nothing to do with it could have everything to do with like the person uploading it, the quality of the content. There's so many different variables that it could be, but at the end of the day, the desire is there. And so you can't blame the creator. You can it's just the system wants it at this point.
You know, to cater to the audience. Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and with anything becomes evolution. So I think Claire, you are the evolution of the AFOL.
I'm the evolution. You know, I am.
The new school.
You are.
That's good. I'm glad. I have been a collector my whole life, though. I actually never really had a dark age. I just like kind of was independent about it. I didn't really know that the AFOL community existed at all. It was like something I would just like buy and give to myself, and you know, build a set like once a year or something, but continuously purchase stuff. So I have some like, you know, pretty old school sets, but you know, I didn't. Professionally, I'm an architect, so I would have loved to get into mock building. I didn't even know that was such a thing. And you know, the majority of my graduate school experience was like model building with like basswood and foam core and just like crappy materials that it just would have been so much more fun to have like the vibrancy and color. Obviously, I probably would have failed if I submitted a Lego model, but it would have been nice to do that simultaneously, like, you know, in parallel.
Do you do that now? Do you do the mocks now?
I am starting to a little bit. So, you know, as the years go on, when you start working, you know, you transition from doing cool design stuff to like management and managing people. And so it's been a long time since I've kind of like sketched and stretched those, you know, those muscles. So I'm kind of starting to get back into it a little bit by doing mostly mods is kind of how I'm going to do it. I'm going to take some sets that I like and turn them into modulars and just and just like take some friend sets and make them a little bit more girthy. And I'm going to start in that direction. And I have some ideas for mocks, but I'm kind of keeping them tight to the chest until I see what direction I want to go in.
You mentioned that over the years, maybe you built like or bought one set per year or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So you find that since Lego YouTube has entered your life,
Mm-hmm.
that has exponentially gone up.
Exponentially, especially with COVID. I was really lucky, and my job sustained. It's like I didn't get laid off, like a lot of people in my industry, and my actual expenditures went down pretty significantly. Like not traveling, going out, things like that, not buying clothes, just hanging out in sweatpants. Mm-hmm. So I ended up essentially transitioning all that money towards Lego. And now that the world is opening up, I need to kind of rein it in so that I can still live life while also buying Lego at a rate. It's going to be hard. It's definitely going to be hard.
Is it from like seeing what other people have from like videos, or just from like the Lego community, like your friends, what your friends are buying?
Yeah,
it's that new word that I just learned, FOMO, that everyone seems to be throwing out these days.
That's exactly it. And there's definitely been sets over the years that I haven't bought. Like I never got Iceberg, and that's like a huge regret. Or the Ghostbusters headquarters. I've been a Ghostbusters fan since I can remember. I think I was a Ghostbuster 8 years in a row for Halloween, and I just didn't buy it. I just was like, oh, it's too big. Like, where am I going to put that?
Yeah.
I bought Ninjago City, but like I didn't buy that. Like I don't understand. So those are some of the, but yes, FOMO is real. And talking to Kevin also loves Friends and like super brightly colored, and we just like egg each other on. If you buy a set, I usually go buy it or whatever. It's like it's bad. It's great but bad.
I have 3 troll sets now, Claire.
I haven't bought any yet, and I know I'm going to.
I keep finding them on sale, so I buy them.
I haven't bought them on sale. If I find them on sale, I'm gonna get them. Like there's no discussion.
I find the same. When I was kind of out of the Lego YouTube, I was buying sets, but mostly just the big sets. Now that I'm kind of back in, I got that Monkey Warrior mech. I wasn't going to get that. I wouldn't have gotten that before, but after Kevin got it and started
building it,
playing, he wasn't just building it. He was like smashing it against the
demon ball. Me and Brenda had a big old battle on the stream. Yeah.
And so that made me want to buy it. It's that FOMO that I just wanted it. So
when's the last time you actually took one of those like play feature cannons that has full of studs and actually shot them? It's so much fun.
I usually shoot them against the box.
You have to clean them up, but it's worth it.
Totally.
And any other points with this last previous question, or?
I mean, we went way off track on that.
Right.
But
here's my next one. Why do you guys think some Lego YouTube channels are bigger than others, or what makes a Lego YouTuber popular? We'll throw that out to Claire first, so we'll go reverse order.
Yeah, I kind of touched on this. It's kind of like what the community is wanting and what viewership is wanting. I think, being female, you have like a huge advantage right now because there's a disparity right now between the kind of content there's out there. I think people do well if I don't honestly, like, I have no idea. I think it's kind of a crapshoot sometimes. YouTube is kind of a fickle.
What about it in the beauty community, like the beauty YouTube? What made one more popular than the other?
Highly produced. When people started really, when I was in it was a long time ago, and everything was kind of low budget. People were filming on their phones, and then the people who made a very quick transition into high quality like camera equipment and were constantly, they ended up having like a big boost.
HD.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think is kind of funny because Just Too Good has been filming on his phone this entire time. Like,
phones are good quality.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Phones are good quality, but he's been filming on it for a long time.
And now I guess with the beauty, they have like that ring light too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've got one of those, which is great. I actually got it when I used to do makeup for weddings and stuff. And you'd put the bride right in the middle of it and take a photo of them, and they'd be very happy at the end of it. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I haven't been around long enough, and I don't have any kind of expertise on social media. so it's kind of hard to get a grasp on what is it. And then how you define success, I think, is a little bit different. Like, is it subscribers? Is it view counts? Is it just connectivity to the community? Is it just sheer happiness, which should be the last one? But, you know, like how do we define it?
How about yourself, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think a big part is, well, you need people to come back. So either, you know, I think there's lots of ways to do that. One is to have expertise and to be an expert or the best at something. That's really hard to do, obviously. But the people that are the best at stuff are going to get viewers eventually, if not right away. Another way is to have more energy or just a different personality than other people. You know, whether that's energy or just, you know,
different
in your face opinions or whatever, like if that's your thing. But I think, you know, a lot of people just really say, if you're making content that you enjoy making and like focusing on the stuff that you find interesting and you're passionate about, then it's going to work. But
it'll show.
And then at some point, you know, there's a little bit of luck in the algorithm. Also, if you get a big video, it will help you. And, you know, that's just a numbers game. And, you know, no one really understands how it works. So
it's a big secret.
The algorithm, yeah.
And I mean, even if you do understand how it works, it still takes that, you know, those few people all clicking on it at the same time and whatever. And, you know, and then if you know, and then it takes a ton of work, obviously. The people that have big channels are working their butts off. And, you know, at least at the beginning, maybe, you know, later on they can cruise a little more because people are going to watch no matter what, but it takes a ton of work to put something together that is, you know, that people want to see and that they're going to come back for.
Yeah. Basically like a full-time job sometimes too.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And I was on a panel recently with Jang, and he was just like, 7 days a week. If anyone wants to do this full time, I try to discourage them. You know, he was like, it's not people. I think a lot of people think it's easier than like a 9 to 5. And I think there's some things that are easier than a 9 to 5. In my opinion, you don't have a boss.
Yeah.
You're not managing people. You're managing yourself. You kind of set your own hours, but because of that, you probably have to have, you know, better boundaries, which is very difficult to, I think, create.
Well, someone like Jang, who kind of puts out a review for every single set, that's like a crazy schedule, especially if you want to be the first one to put them all out, and because you got to build it, then review it, then edit. The building parts takes a while. So, even if you're like first one to get that set, you still got to build it. It's just sitting like especially if it's like a 3,000 piece set, it's just not gonna build on its own unless you have an army
in
of builders.
principle he could get someone else to build it for him, but I feel like I think
he's a one-man show.
Wouldn't be as good if he did that, you know, like you wouldn't have the same feeling about it.
Remember Brick Vault still a channel?
Yep.
I remember they had a few, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 people, and then they would be putting out reviews and building. It was like a whole production kind of thing. So, Mel, how about you? What do you think makes a Lego YouTuber bigger than others?
If I had the answers, man, I would be the man.
You'd be the big.
You know what hurt my feelings, man? I got to tell you what hurt my feelings was that the person. It put me back in reality, though. But you know, but the person commented on one of my videos, and he was like, "Hey, man," he said, "How are you on national TV and you only have 2,000 subscribers?" I don't have the answer to that, friend. You know, I'm like, I wish I did. I wish I knew, you know, but I don't. But I do know that if you love something, right? If you love what you do, is it really work? Because you love it, right? So work is like when you say work. When you say that word work, it seems like something that you don't want to do. Like, oh man, this is too much work, you know. But you know, if YouTube is your hobby, and that's what it becomes. If YouTube is your hobby, along with whatever hobby you're displaying, and you love it, it'll never be working a day in your life. And you could do it all day, every day. And Jane, somebody like Jane loves it, you know.
Yeah.
You know, Brickatech he loves it, maybe he did his homework on how to YouTube or something, and he comes off with a clear
he exploded.
Message. Love, I don't have boyish good looks. I don't. So, so my channel's not that hot. It's not. But I wish I knew, because that is a goal. I want that goal button. I do. I love achievements. I've been a competitor my whole entire life. I was a track star, young, and I competed, and professionally, and I love running the race. I love running this YouTube race, but I know that in reality, I'm probably not everybody's cup of tea. And so I think that, like, if you are out to have a successful YouTube channel, do your homework. I got a lot of other things that are revolving around. So this ain't my full-time thing. This ain't even my part-time thing. This is just a hobby thing. Yeah. And so, will I hit that algorithm? Maybe not. But I mean, like, you just do your homework on if you want a successful channel. Like Claire said, it's a lot of work. It is. But anything come easy, is it worth having? You wouldn't appreciate it if it did.
For sure.
Yeah. When I was looking at this question, I was looking at Emmasaurus, because she doesn't have high numbers, but when you look at her live streams, she has high viewers and commenters, and like people just interacting like crazy. And so I was thinking, what are some of the differences? And I think personality. She has like one of those personalities that are kind of infectious. Like you want to see, like you just want to interact. And then I was like, M&R Productions has that kind of same thing. Like when he's looking at the camera and he speaks, you're just, and so it's that personality, I think, is the main, well, in my opinion, it's one of the main separators between like one of the bigger even Just Too Good. We didn't see his face until today or yesterday, but before that, just from his voice, it's that voice, like that personality, and it's infectious. It's you just want it. And when I was watching the Brick Show, both those guys were very engaging. I met them in real life, and they weren't as friendly as they were on television. But
introverts make
but
right?
when they're in front of the camera, they have that personality and
the it factor.
Yeah, your creative friends, Chad, very engaging, even in person, very, very engaging, and just that personality made me want to go back to that channel each time and watch the next video and so I think you have to look like your audience too. Like I think that like M&R, if you take M&R, he's a grown man, but he looks real young. He looks like a teen, right? And predominantly of his channel are teens, right? Teens love M&R. And who's on YouTube? Teens. So I think you have to find the relation of your audience and actually play the part to draw them in. Because the first thing I could tell you, if I was a 16-year-old kid and I'm looking at M&R, hey, he looks like me. I'm listening to what he's got to say. He's going to be my biggest influencer, And so I think you definitely, like, you got to know your audience. You got to know who's listening to your content. And even so that, you got stats. So, I know I looked at my stats. I'm more appealing to the 25 to 35-year-olds. Come on, 45.
Yeah. Well, yeah, 25 to 45. Yeah, 25. Mine's is 25.
I'm just joking.
But how do I reach into that other bracket? Because that's the bracket to be in.
Yeah.
So.
That's the bracket that's on their phones more often, watching videos.
Absolutely.
For sure. Anything else to add to this question, or move on to the next one?
Sure.
Okay. So this one, I'll throw it to Mel first. Actually, I'll throw it to Kevin first. As a YouTube content creator, what do you value most and why? I.e., like subscriber count, likes, views on videos.
Comments, I mean, right now I'm still just enjoying streaming. I like the community. I like having fun with people watching. So like myself, what's most fun is streaming and just people in the chat being hilarious and like telling me that I made their day better or whatever, just something like that. Because like it's nowhere near anything close to a job of any kind right now. It's just I'll stream for Tuesdays and then like tonight for 1 hour and then weekends for 3 hours, and then I try to make a video a week or something like that. And maybe it's a haul video, maybe it's this week I'm working on just like a little tour video of something. But I don't really have energy, so I didn't push it that hard. So, I mean, for me, I don't really care still that much about the metrics. I caught myself thinking I cared for a bit and realized, like, after my birthday, like, numbers went way up, and then
you care.
Hit the 100.
You start to care.
Exactly.
Like, oh.
But then I was like, okay, no, but now I'm like stressed out for no reason, so I'll just stop. And it's gonna, like, that was never the goal in doing it. It was just a way to spend some time and to see if I enjoyed, like, the end goal maybe someday is to open a toy store and to like stream from the toy store and kind of have that as not a moneymaker, but just like a fun thing that happens and everyone knows, oh, I could go watch them stream in the back studio or whatever, something like that. And so just for me, it's just having fun and to not worry that much. If it took off, then I'd have to reassess. But that's not really the goal right now. And I've got my other job that I like, and we'll see what happens. Still figuring it out.
How about yourself, Claire?
Yeah, I'm kind of like Kevin. My favorite part is like the community and like interacting. I love doing research and getting like super into things. So a lot of my videos, I try to do that, but then also kind of make it accessible with just like the information I'm trying to put together. So to me, like that creative outlet of putting the video together, doing the research and like actually editing it while also the Lego that's part of it. I love it so much. I don't think I could, I mean, it would be, of course, ideal. In my head, I've like fantasized the idea of doing YouTube full time, but I think it would take away from a lot of the things that I do love about my work on the side, not my work on the side, my main job. I don't even know why I call it work on the side. My career that I've like built for like many years. Yeah. That I spent a lot of money going to school to be capable of doing. But yeah, I don't know. I think the community is why I started doing videos. Like I started joining live streams as like a chatter, and then it felt disingenuous to want to connect and have a human connection with someone online without having a face. And so that's why I started creating content, because I knew that I could. I did it before. I knew I was comfortable putting my face on the internet, and it immediately catapulted the relationships that I was making. And so that helped a lot in terms of like seeking those human connections that I was doing during COVID. So yeah, it's been great.
How about you, Mel?
I think it's the and it's the same. It's the interactions, right? You put this thing out there for everybody to see, and of course you want, as a human being, you want that response, right? Just like I'm an art student, and I create something. I want a response. I want a critique, right? So I think we all put these fillers out there to get some type of response back, and these videos make us better. And I think that it is the interaction with the community. Like I remember 2017. If it wasn't for Instagram and YouTube, I probably would have never met Haley Bricks. I probably never met Hoosier. I probably would have known the Pink Bucket Nation. I probably would have never known my idol AC Penn. That's my guy. And I probably would have never got to meet him and got to know him. So it's that interaction in that community that leads you to that point,
For myself, when I first started, like in 2014, I'm not gonna lie, I did look at the numbers a lot, and I was watching the subscribers. I check it out every day to see how much it changed. Like, okay, it went up this. Oh, it went up this much. When someone would shout me out on a video, all of a sudden I get like 50 more subscribers. Like, whoa, how'd that happen? And so, and I was watching it climb. I know there was a website back in the day, Social Blade. I don't even know if that's still a thing. But it would show. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
It would show like where you're gonna be in a year from now based on your projection, and where you're gonna be in months from now. And then so I'd be looking at I had like spreadsheets, and I was like looking, and then after a while, maybe into my second year, I just got tired of that. And then it was just more like streaming and just having fun with the people on the streams. I know for the longest time I wouldn't even have a live stream on my main channel, only on my alt channel, because back then there was something in the algorithm that if you would have a live stream for a certain amount of hours on your channel, all of a sudden your subscribers would drop down. It was some weird thing that was going on before too. So I'd only have it on my my vlog channel. But nowadays, like coming back, it's again jumping on all you guys' answers. It's the interaction, like just commenting in the chats again and just being funny and stuff like that. So that's basically for myself. Okay, next. Anything else with that topic, or move on? I got 9 minutes. I'll move on. So we'll throw this out to Kevin first. How does one get themselves into a Lego YouTube community? If you're new
into a community,
what's your advice?
Just start chatting, start leaving comments, be a nice person.
Yeah.
You know, kind of, yeah, I mean, I think that's a big part of it. And like, I don't know, do your homework on kind of which channels fit with what your style of, I don't know, what you like to watch and what you like to comment on, and the types of people they're interacting with. And like, you'll start seeing the same people over and over, basically. And so I think, I don't know, just be there and be a nice person. And that's pretty much it. Be useful to them, give them feedback, or not, like give them, if they ask for advice, give them advice on something. And sometimes it'll be useful and sometimes it won't. But like, you need them to remember you in some way too. I mean, I don't know how I got to know Claire really, except just saying hi. Or
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think in like Emily's chat or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like, but I guess probably it's also useful to have content and to have your face in some cases, because especially if you're a guy interacting with a woman, it's probably going to be useful for them to know at least a little bit about what you're like and things like that. I don't know, but yeah, I mean, it all comes down to just be in the chat, say hi, interact like a normal person, and you know, the community will come.
Yeah.
Claire.
Yeah, I think social interactions aren't that different online than they are in person. You know, you want to put yourself out there a little bit, like, you know, be a nice person, and there's like a vulnerability that you need to open yourself up a little bit to people so that they trust you, and it kind of goes back and forth. But yeah, I think like do your research in terms of the channels that are out there and like who you think you would actually be friends with in real life, because that's probably how it would connect, you know, online as well.
How about yourself, Mel?
I think it's important to find like-minded people, like in the community. You know, that way somebody you find somebody that you can relate to, have the same ideals, and that will be easier to actually forge your way into a community and make friends. I think that you know, like my grandfather always, you know, God rest his soul, he always said that if you're the smartest person in the room, there's something wrong with that picture, right? Meaning that, you know, I'm not going to go out and go find dumb friends. I'm going to find somebody that's smarter than me to teach me the way, you know. I got some tips from M&R, you know, I got some tips, you know, and here I am 40 years old, and you know, I'm getting tips from the youth, you know, that, hey, this is what you do to make your channel better, you know. So you have to be open-minded and like-minded, you know, find people with the same niche as you. You know,
Exactly.
that's what makes a community. So.
Yeah.
For me, when I just came back in January, totally out of the community, trying to find the community or which, because there are, like I said earlier, I found that there are pockets of these little communities. Basically, what I was doing was in the chats of different streams, typing in those channels in the search, checking out their videos, commenting on their videos. They would respond back and have that first little interaction. And then once they kind of respond back, if I see them in the chat, talk to them in the chat. That's one kind of a piece of advice I'd probably give to like a new viewer who's kind of wanting to find a community. And from doing that, I found different communities, like Sai's in the chat right now, and I just recently found his UK kind of community with himself, London Bricks, bricking it up, and tech productions, and like these guys remind me of the Asian Pacific crew. Like it was an entertaining stream when I was watching it, and even Emily, Shy, Claire, that kind of crew, Kevin, and so like I said earlier, I do find these little groups. I know you guys say like you interact with each other, but it seems like you guys are closer. Like certain members of groups are closer. Like just from what I'm seeing, like from kind of an outside view, and trying to interact within those communities. I would suggest just comment on a lot of videos. Like watch the content, kind of understand like what their channel's about, what they do, and then once you kind of understand, I guess maybe you'll be more they'll be more accepting. No, that's what I'm thinking. You guys have any ideas about that?
If I can add to anything, don't stay virtual. Please don't stay virtual. Don't stay behind the security of a laptop. Like you said, get out and we said this before. Get out and get to conventions. Actually, physically meet people. I used to hang with a group of good dudes that I missed today, and some of them may choose to talk to me, and some may not. But I missed all of them. And it was Rob, it was Harold, it was James, and it was Jeff. And we called ourselves the DMV boys. And you know, I used to every Saturday morning hit Tyson's Corner for breakfast at the diner, and we go right to the Lego store every morning. That was our thing. Every Saturday morning, that was our thing. And you know, I miss those dudes today. You know, I haven't spoken to them in years, but you know, but that friendship meant a lot to me. You know, and it kind of molded me to my character today.
I agree. Like at a convention, especially if you were going to a convention where you're meeting up with people that you know on YouTube, for example, those connections, I guess, become stronger because you're just not chatting like on a live stream. You're like chatting, like just, you know, when you're hanging out with someone, you're just like chatting about nothing. And then sometimes those relationships just make it stronger, and you're just and then once you come back into the YouTube venue, it just it kind of shows more. Okay, I guess last question, because we only have a few minutes, and we'll throw this to Mel first. What do you think the future of Lego YouTube will be in the next 3 to 5 years?
Next 3 to 5 years, you'll have a girl that looks like that down there. I'm serious. You know, and somebody younger. I think the A4 gets younger. So you'll have a younger M&R. You'll have a younger, you know, Claire, plastic architect. You'll have a younger MSRs. You know, someone
who's like 14 right now.
Right.
Will be the.
Yeah, and they're gonna look a different color. They're you know, and that's what it is that we forget that this toy is global. It's bigger than you and me. It don't belong to us. It belongs to the world, right? And so I think that, you know, with anything we get territorial. Oh, you know, How this person get on in and get a channel? The peanut gallery, they'll start. How this person get on and get a channel? They got on it because they love the same thing you love. And so, I think that is the future. In the next 5 years, you'll see that the AFOL will get younger.
What about you, Kevin? What do you think?
I mean, in terms of, I agree with Mel on that point. In terms of content and like what the actual content looks like, honestly, I have no idea. Like I watch a lot of Twitch, or I used to anyway, and like video game stuff, like speedrunning, for example, or just people playing, I don't know, anything. And like there are people in the Twitch side of things. I actually don't know how much Lego is going on Twitch, but over there it's like they stream 8 hours a day, and their job is getting subs and getting donations by doing stuff for 8 hours a day. If you're building sets, you can't build for 8 hours a day and not spend, a ton of money. So I think if we get some really good mock people that really have very good personality and ability to build a community, I think they'll blow up very quickly. But that's also exhausting to be able to do that all day, every day. There's some people putting in that time right now, but I don't see the same types of personalities that are blowing up on Twitch, for example. That really has nothing to do with the game they're playing or anything. It's all about them as a person, really. And half the time they're not even playing the game; they're just chatting or whatever. And again, that's all different types of people that do that. But I wouldn't be surprised to see Lego being the vehicle instead of a video game in that sense. But I don't know though.
Hey, jumping on that point about the mock makers, like I haven't been to a meeting in a long time, but when I was part of my tour lug, I don't think any of them were on YouTube. Simon Liu might have thrown in a couple of videos here and there, but they weren't really. Actually, I think Nick, not me, a different Nick, had like a YouTube channel for a little bit, and he was doing interviews. But I don't think he's active right now. But when I was there, none of them were really doing YouTube, even though they made all these awesome creations. And I don't know if it's true with, I don't know if you guys belong to any lugs, but if your lug members have YouTube channels, it seems like a lot of the YouTube channels are people who buy sets and do things with sets. I know like people like M&R and his kind of rebel lug make mocks and they have their channels, but I'm just talking about the lug members that I was part of. They didn't really have YouTube channels, and if they did, maybe it would have blown up, like Kevin was saying, in the future. What about you, Claire? Next 3 to 5 years.
Oh, that's hard. That's like asking for investment advice. I think people will start doing a bit more. It seems like the trend right now is like a bit more produced, like things that are a little bit more refined. And there's like a little bit in terms of like getting views and subs. I think that's like kind of important. But I don't know. Honestly, I think there's only like a limit to what you can do on YouTube with Lego. The community is like not that huge. Like you're not going to be making like big bucks, doing it. I think that should be a reality check for a lot of people. But yes, like cat content will probably get you further. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited to see more people, more diversity, and just just different people getting into the community. I do know that there's like a lot of like mock builders that don't do any content, and I think it would be so cool if they started. Like, I would just love to see that. I'm not in a lug, and I probably would join one at some point, but we'll see.
Yeah. My guess, I think live streaming will continue to be a thing. Like it seems just coming back. There's a lot more streams, and I enjoy having them on when I'm building. Like I find it's good conversation just to have like a podcast. I'm not even looking unless they're like, oh, look at this, and I'm like, oh geez, I missed that, or I have to like go back. Yeah, but just coming back, I was going through Kevin Hinkle and Brick Smith's Forever Sorting series, and apparently they have in the hundreds, but I think I'm on like episode 35 or 36, and it was just basically him like telling his story, and it was good to listen to. I was like interesting learning about the Lego group and different faux pas that were going on within the Lego group. But yeah, I think streaming is going to continue being a thing, and 3 years, I don't know, in 5 years, but that's what I'm thinking. So we've gone a little bit over the hour mark, but this concludes this discussion for this week. Next week we're going to be on Iceberg Bricks' channel. Topic to be determined. But thanks everyone for being on, and thanks for the chat, for hanging out with us. All right, bye for now.